with Yahweh. It's just spiritually motivated, spirit science, sound motivated, tarot motivated. Like I'm starting off with these sound bowls. You started it off this morning. I was like, bruh, my head is ringing. What is she doing? And what you were doing was calibrating your energy and my energy for your meeting, our meetings with the
But
JBs and the Lord.
that's the interdependence, right? Because it's like the recognition that this has an effect on you. So I'm just gonna do a little.
I'm like, all right, I'm up. I'm up, damn it.
I'm going back down.
No, I'm up.
Oh, you got up?
I got up. I moved. I made the bed. I got up. Like, so when I was in the army, like we got up at a certain time because we got ahead of the day.
That's exactly that. Just get up. Like your body feels tired, but as you move through the day, you're naturally engaged with the energies and you energize.
Yep. Like I didn't have to go where you go to have. That's why you always bring it back to me and want to talk to me about. Yeah, I just did this because all of the energies are there.
Right.
Yeah, I told you, Cowboys are gonna win today. You know why they're gonna win? Because I'm putting my attention and we're gonna make fucking Brady mad. Like I told you, ancestral shit. Brady, he's the whole key. He's QB1. He's a very white Bay Area QB that's heavily affected about the rains. Listen, San Fran is gonna win the Super Bowl. That's what we're hoping for. Mm-hmm. But like today, Tom Brady going down.
Oh, Tom Brady. I recognize that name. He's well known and well renowned.
Yes, he is. He dated models. Kanye talked about Brady.
Didn't he have like a? He's had scandals before, I believe.
Right, nigga, but, you in America.
But that's what I was about to say.
Everybody like, has scandals.
He has a level of influence that rings.
He got bells. 5 Super Bowl rings.
Oh yeah.
Nigga, these ain't 5 basketball champions. He got 5 Super Bowl rings. There's niggas that never get one. He has a level of influence. He's the highest level of commander-in-chief on the football field. That's why we watch. I told Gail yesterday, I was like, I don't watch football for the winning and losing. I'm a Cowboy fan. That's the 5 elements of hip-hop. That's a Star of David. I'm the fan of their symbolism. Like, I grew up in Jersey where Giants fans are assholes. Like, and my mom, in order to combat that shit, she was a Cowboy fan just to be an asshole back. And I used to watch her be an asshole. Yeah, I'm a Cowboy fan. Why? Because my mom is. What do you mean? So, like that level of connection when I'm talking about sports, I see the symbolism. I see the signs. When Gail came at me yesterday, I'm like, oh, the whole collective at us? Okay, y'all don't know what time it is.
Now that I know that means that was your mom coming out, because that was a reflection of that kind of relationship that you created with it. So you have created a relationship where you fight with it.
That's why sports is combative. Mm-hmm. It's like a way where we can physically, just how a sex and sacred energy exchange. Jerry Buss said that like basketball is like having sex on the court with 10 people. It's an orgy. Right. Like his little nasty ass. That's what
told the truth.
Bruh. He saw it. Mm-hmm. He saw it. That's why we wasn't just chattel. We were more than chattel. We were a stimuli that it was a commodity. Like we still, our melanin is still sold on the marketplace. They haven't changed the bills for that. That's how I know we're $500 a gram. Mm-hmm. That's how I know when somebody stimulates us. And that's why I told you, like, not just Lauren, but Lauren is my mom. She's the high educated, magical person that just wants the magic for themselves, and they need it for themselves, but they need to be able to be in a community. My mom has the opportunity to be in this community. My brother do. That's why she sent her henchman, which is my brother, which brings out all of the other snakes. Mm-hmm. I told you, like, Mahatma has to show her cards. Mm-hmm. Like, with Aaron and him transitioning, right? Yeah. Like, yo, she's taken too many families. She's not for families. But you got to be for families. You're for families. Even if your family is a fuckface, you're for families.
I mean, that's usually a heavy influence as to why people go for family.
But what happens is in spiritual evolution, people like forget about that, and
they forget about
like that the family fuck shit is what got them to their spiritual righteousness.
Right. But I mean, ultimately, it's like when we communicate about what it is that people, why they do the things, it's like those that understand that lessons are blessings are the ones who understand it. And it doesn't really matter what kind of structure. That's just a thing that spirit either learns in this life or already knows.
We have, when we talk about Marjorie, right? Mm-hmm. It's not just her that engages, it's the church that we created around it.
Right, and the energy of everything that you have created.
Anybody I brought her around, she has access to their consciousness. Mm-hmm. Everybody. She didn't have a baby with us, but our seed was inside of her.
Right, and because all the entanglements exist.
Exactly. So one of the things about putting your seed into a dead soul is that dead womb is the dead soul. Like, your womb is created. I can't create life in this womb. Mm-hmm. So God is the womb creator. When you take that away from you because you think that you want to control how many children you have versus God controlling how many children you have. Like, bruh, like that's like, I know I chose a penis so I could have multiple children.
That's interesting to think about it from the place of self-realization, right? Because it's like a lot of people do actively choose to have a number of children, but the thing is that because they allow it, and because this is where we observe life path as it's progressed, as a constant evolution, as we enter into the fifth dimensional realm, clearing out the fuck shit. This is like a cryon style kind of message, right? It's like we know that all of this is just being in position for the fifth dimensional harmonic convergence evolution of the planet. So when we see all aspects of that, that's that cleared out. Download. That's awesome. Another opportunity to stay grounded on my square.
That's it, bro. Yeah. Listen, that's why I brought up NFL. This is the thing. I'm not playing when I go live.
Right.
When you came into our portal, mm-hmm. I was like, all right, I'm going live.
Which is sending energy.
Yeah, bro.
Shooting shots, all of that.
All of that. Oh, yeah. Everybody we brought up prior to, everybody we bring up through. I told you Marjorie is like my grandma, my mom put together. Mm-hmm. I care about my family. I care about my family more than I care about yours.
Yeah.
So that's like, how, I mean, that should make the most sense. Yeah. That's why, yes, Lauren should donate hundreds, 1,000. She should put us in contact with her other friends so that you can communicate our caring about our families more. Right. That's what a baby does. Right. This is a Messiah. I kissed your head because your head down. Head down here. I rubbed your belly last night because you sent off sensories. Every time you scratch, it like it's like scratching a record.
That's dope.
My whole body's like, yo, there's an investment coming. Blood.
Yeah, it's dope, right? Because it's like we just pay attention. That's all we gotta do, and like. My body is communicating to your body, which is the baby communicating to you. Communication. Desire boomy attention.
And it's talking about, we talked at the beginning of, or the end of our last video, we just let you know your body more than anything. Mm-hmm. I don't have to tell you anything about your body. You get up and you follow your body. And when you have a baby, you got two bodies inside of you that you're following. And this baby is closer to God than anyone out here would be. Mm-hmm. It's even inside the womb right now. Mm-hmm. So, like, our reading, bro, this reading, I want you to read it when you get a chance. But I made a live video about it, about 30 minutes, right? And it says, emotions are running high. Don't let your pride get in the way. Adjustments are required because the energy is going in momentum. It's not ready.
Homie said, chill.
Like, you remember those marks that Donnie was making last night?
The fucking cat.
What up, Boxer?
That is so what Boxer's personality is, too.
What you in my house?
Yeah.
I'm here.
I'm like very in touch with my feminine energy.
But I got a penis.
I'll fuck you up.
Yeah, yo, he be opening his paws.
I know. I love cats. Adjustments are required. The energy is gaining momentum.
And when you learn that you're always adjusting,
Right.
that is like
The sauce. That's
is,
how you be in flow.
Bro. Oh, you came. You came and did this. I'm definitely gonna go for my walk.
Yes, absolutely.
Because like, I get to take this energy that we curated in here, the energy that you curate, and we get to go and we get to shoot hearts everywhere.
Yeah.
And we get to go touch a tree.
Yes.
We get to see this. Like this is what Fred Hampton wanted to feel like before he did the Rainbow Coalition.
Same. This is where Martin was starting to feel.
This is like getting to this point, right? You have to not give a fuck about a Nobel Peace Prize. You have to not give a fuck about a pin. You have to not give a fuck about socially accepted.
And this is where you can observe that, like, this is where you were starting to get to. Like, he was starting to not give a fuck. He was starting to be like, bruh, like, I see this shit for what it is. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm on God's mission? All right. Fuck all of, like, he was like 3 years away from that, bruh. At the most.
That's why the 60s and the 70s produced the 80s.
Right.
Because you had all that momentum, and then no one really, like, Nina left.
Because
they killed Sam Cooke. Like, they either exiled them, and then the plants came up and they dociled us. That's what Barack did. He dociled us.
Because the thing is that each one of those transitions, right? The level of influence that somebody has an effect on the collective consciousness, period. And from that, when someone who has a very high level of influence transitions, their energy scatters all throughout.
I felt that with Nipsey.
And Martin, because of the time frame, like, because of the level of representation, just because of the style of media, we had Martin and Malcolm, Nina.
I ain't found out about Nina until a couple years ago.
And right. And we think about different
in the music though.
We think about different times. Yeah, she was funding the civil rights movement. She was assisting with funding
so
it.
A lot of conscious-minded hip-hop artists sampled her. That's why I told you I heard that song that we heard the other day with Nina Simone through a Kanye West sample.
Yep. There's a certain frequency that spirit stays at when it's desiring to engage with liberation and liberated thoughts. So, and just seeing how the level of influence, like, I view it as spirit engaging with, like, okay, hold on.
Take a breath.
Martin and Malcolm transitioned in a time frame where their level of influence was very great, but there wasn't that many people who had that level of influence. So their transition as an energetic explosion had the effect on the collective consciousness. It was a very large effect, but because it was a smaller number of vibrations that were at that level of influence.
That had the bandwidth or capacity to really get it.
Yes. There's a much smaller amount of them. So them transitioning, that energy flow and bounce, it matched. And that's why, because I thought about this came up when you were talking about going into the 80s. Like, this is why the transition took decades, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, up till now. And because of the level of access of technology that the collective consciousness has, people are now receptive to the idea that Wi-Fi is the ether.
It is the ether.
And with Wi-Fi being the ether, that means that we can tap into all consciousness at any point in time. And there is a visual manifestation of what that looks like because we engage with it all the time, so we can actually perceive it in this reality.
Yep.
And
in now time.
In now time. So when I brought up the transition, because I was talking about how energies flowed through life and how it engages with uh, just as an energetic explosion. But now that we're in the position where not only do we have influencers as a in this live stream it's applicable job option.
Yes.
We also have a lot of and this is in terms of spirit engaging with like the magic that the ancestors have always known, which is sacrifice, which is blood, which is death, which is life ritual. Like
chaos magic.
There's a lot of people that have transitioned.
You know what the devil spelled backward is?
Lived?
Exactly.
Mm.
Yeah. So when you know that you came here to live, this is where the Narcissians, this is where the Roman Catholic Church, they started playing with the words. Like I told you, I'm dyslexic. So I can see lived and devil in the same, but when I put POV is going to give me the word. Wherever I'm at vibrationally is going to give me the word. How I feel about the devil is going to allow me to live. Like anything that we do in the carnal. So when your sacrum, right? Solar plex, sacrum, when your secretion, your Christ consciousness is going up your ladder to go to your third eye, opening it up, right?
Mm.
It has to that's why semen retention, if you are, and by the foods that you're eating, because as it's going up and traveling every 29 days, like the moon cycles, every 29 days, like we make a cycle.
That's
like
cool.
We have a journey.
That makes sense.
That's the Jacob's ladder in doing that, right?
Well, so it's like, so everything is reflected. Masculine and feminine have cycles of fluid
and this
cycle
happens in everybody. Not just masculine, it happens in everybody.
The cranial fluid.
Yes, it's in the spine. That's the seed of like our body, our nervous system and all that looks like a sperm cell, looks like a tree.
I saw that on Ox's thing.
So it's like knowing how to excrete your sacred energy exchange, how to express it. And our forms of expression are how we live. That's why we come to earth to live and to rise to God's consciousness. Like, that's why knowing yourself is important. That's why you're watching the Wu-Tang right now. And we're seeing what you catch versus what you don't catch. I don't care to like watch anything with you. I just care to watch and see what you see, because your point of view is different than mine. And then when we exchange sounds, we get a new creation. It's like particle blasting with people. Like my homie, one of the Moore families, right? Because I told you we're about keeping families together. There was like face sculpting. Like I've done this with people that I haven't had intentional bonds with. And I felt how uncomfortable it is. And I've done it with people that I had, like how I just touched your face. Yeah. And how I explain what I just explained in our download. And how I'm tying it into our sacred energy exchange. Like I've been practicing years for this, to be able to deliver high level consciousness. Listen, like 19's Keys, you're dope, bro. Brother Ben X, y'all all dope. I'm the dopest. Nigga, I'm Magic. Like Magic knew he was Magic. He knew his smile. Yo, you know my homie Delta, right? He transitioned, right? Delta is, he's Davy's son, Chadwick. Davy is the guy from Vegas. Okay. My battle buddy. So Delta, I got introduced. He's Chadwick's spiritual leader was Delta.
That's right. I remember this.
Delta came to hold ceremony with us. We had a wax ceremony because we didn't have space and bandwidth for them. We were supposed to raise their vibe so he can extend. But in it, right? No, I see this and I play it back. I told you potentials. We're downloading. Delta told me that a smile will get you anywhere. And when you know how to add intent behind that smile, because a smile is water, tongue is water, eyes is fire. Like I told you, I got a dope ass lesson yesterday. That's why you pointed out, yo, the acid is still there. I was like, yeah, we're waiting. Oh, you rang us up this morning? You rang? Yes, okay. all right, let's get this documented so that we can. I don't have to like get acid to get back here. I build from here. Like niggas get dependent. I don't want to be dependent on acid. I'm losing teeth. So in that, I know my smile. That's why Magic had that smile, and he was entering a world that was new.
That's true. I mean, that's real. That's real. Like,
you got that smile? Yes, I watch what your smile do.
It's when it comes, and the thing is because it rings a smile. What it does is it rings into a place of authenticity. Because if you really, like, I grew up with people who perfected the fake smile. You
that
feel
would
me?
get on my nerve. Like, what's wrong with you?
Like,
your face hurt.
Everybody in my life perfected the fake smile. You feel me? It's like a
you see it in the eyes.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because the eyebrows and the smile is what, like, if I lift my eyebrows up and I smile, but if I'm not really feeling it, if I'm thinking about side joint, no matter how much I lift my eyebrows, no matter how much makeup, no matter how much distraction or illusion.
But the thing is, and this is where it comes to perspective, right? Because it's like, a smile is a practice. Mm-hmm. Joy is a practice. And I have, the way that my avatar has manifested my practice of joy is that when my face forms a smile, my brain immediately goes to the authentic joy. I've cleared out the barrier that comes from, like, there is no fake it. If my face decides to make a fake smile, I'm gonna still find it funny because life is absurd.
It is.
And we're over here making fake smiles. Why on earth would we make a fake one?
We're not sneezing to let out.
Yes.
We're not farting because.
Yes. Yes. And the thing about how authentic joy is perceived in this live stream is that it's not taken seriously. This is something that I've learned in this avatar, like being a Chinese woman and being the stereotype of what that is. It's the ha 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 the anime or the quiet and the sexual, and
it's some of that, but it's way more.
It's a lot.
Way
but
more.
That is the one, because of the fact that the indoctrination, that's the one that was put onto me the most. Because of the fact that when you allow authentic childish joy, that's authentic, curious, childish joy, just the complete release of, like, reality, that's not taken seriously. And it's looked at as something that, this is within the indoctrination system, of course. It's looked at as a methodology of invalidation. It's like, how can you be happy? Why
all of this is going on?
Why do you think that you can be happy?
Because that's a tree right there, and I can see it.
This is just the way it is. And then
the sun right there, I can see it. Nigga, I got eyes. Bro, I got teeth. This is a ton of shit I could be happy for.
Life is so dope.
Like, I didn't have to perfect the fake smile. I had to perfect the fake emotion at the time.
Yes.
And that, when you navigate the emotions, when you come into abusive vibrations or systematically fucked up vibrations, my mom did her best.
Right.
That's why I called my dad today, but I don't have his number in one of these phones. I got it in my Android phone. But I was like, I'm in this vibe. I'm not going in the house yet. So I'll call him when I'll send it in the ether. I'll call him on Facebook.
When it feels right.
Bro, and the thing about it, right? What you did with Lauren today, right? Mm-hmm. And what we do with our family yesterday. And you just have the confusion. But I sit with you, bro. And I'm telling you, they need to talk to a real, like, professionals.
Right.
Because, like,
they really need to talk to.
They really need to talk to professionals. And I'm telling you, because like, that level of like, abuse, it's the same thing with my mom. And, like, I'm one of the first ones to do therapy and be open about it. And I'm proud to talk about my therapist and this, that, and that. We grew up together. So it's like being able to get our families that support system is one, what we're doing. That's why I talk about with magic.
Right.
Like this, like what is this? Like, oh, you know what this is? This is a mobile fucking therapy session. There can be back rubs, there's sound, like if we got food, like
And we're talking about
this is a portal.
And we're talking about therapy in the sense of we're just, being able to explain that what therapy essentially is a safe space for your emotions to be received and known by yourself.
That's it. And that's the thing about the Wild Wild Country and Osho. This is the thing. Most people don't know about our vibration, but we show them our vibrations.
Mm-hmm.
When we vibrate at an Abraham Hicks level, we have access to Abraham and Osho and everybody above them.
Mm.
And then when we use Bumpy Johnson and Josito to explain it, this is one of the things what you just felt, right? Is like just how you said when Malcolm and Martin died, it wasn't enough people that had the bandwidth to be able to take on what we're speaking. That's why we got scribes now. That's why Phase 1 is doing what he did. Like Phase 1 was live last night.
Yeah.
He was searching for assistance. Like I said, I gave it to him in the ether. But like I said, he's on a vibrational path that it's the same mode. He got an algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
I observe everyone's algorithm. We all have them. And then when you observe yours, you create a vibration that's harmonious in your world. That's all we do. And I bring up Osho because that's where he got blighted, because he had the open sex stuff, the sacred energy.
And the thing is,
the fighting and
the thing about Osho, this is the same kind of energy as the Malcolm X. He was one of the first of his kind.
Yep.
He didn't have a group of people he could actually
he created
be.
The sannyasins.
He created the sannyasins, but in terms of he didn't have other nations to connect with.
No, he was exiled because
Right.
his shit was going against all of the grains. This is the thing. When you come and be the Buddha, right? Like, niggas wanna, like, you think you're gonna be loved. Nigga, you love yourself. And because you love yourself, those that you come across, your disciples or sannyasins or reflections or your seeds, right? This is why I care about talking to my children and family more than anything else.
Well,
I love me.
And
in that, I can see when the sounds are given out who loves themselves.
And that's ultimately what it is, because you can see at the highest level what self-love looks like. And this comes back again to what I was bringing up about Osho, was the fact that he, like Malcolm and Martin, was one of very few. There was, when he transitioned, just like in his lifetime, he was one of very few. And now we're transitioning into a space where the collective consciousness is open and receptive.
It's a bunch of hymns.
And there's a bunch.
That's why
hymns.
I'm me. I access him when I
no.
need it. And I know what you're saying. This is a download. And the dope thing about these downloads, you see what you're doing with your hair?
Yes.
High vibrating conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm actually broadcasting to the world our level of, like, I realize that I don't have to let anybody do what I can do for myself.
Big facts.
And those that say they want to do it, they do it with me. These are that's it. Those are the people that fucked with him. Like the Sheilas that fucked Osho over is because she didn't know how to handle all that power. Like, its power is a very magical thing. Like my aunt, my grandmother's aunt, big up to you, Auntie Philly, right? You see how I'm summoning them? Like, we manifest a lot for Toya. Toya about to be the fucking governor or mayor of fucking Newark, my nigga. Like, my family's lit. Newark is a very historic point on the map. We're collecting assets and resources.
And that's dope, because it's just as a note of self-realization and quantum entanglement, you talking about that, Lauren's on her way to New Jersey right now.
Like, Lauren, like those that are tuned into their soul,
Right.
They get the messages before we come into the ether.
Right.
You said I'm Wi-Fi.
Right.
I'm the algorithm, the ancestors. Like, I'm in here. This is why I love taking any type of therapeutic drug, from ayahuasca to cacao to anything. Like, I asked myself today, I asked Spirit, I was like, why does acid help us do more shit in a couple hours that we can have a whole day? It's like, because you're tuned into you.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, you don't care. Even though you tuned into everything, you're tuned into you as a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
So bringing it back to protect the children, I'm here to protect children. And if we're going through a time where sex sells, right? Yo, I watched Velma last night, and that shit was like J3 didn't like it because it was mad ass and titties, cartoon ass. It was porn.
Mm.
It was porn with a twist, and that is stimulated, but in the porn they put messages in it.
Mm.
Edutainment, high level, taking nostalgia. Like I said, the shamans, the era, like the in the 80s, we had the people that tag trains, right? So you know what the trains are now? The meta.
Mm.
So our aerosol artists tag their shits with it. Like my cousin is one of the dopest fucking taggers in the land.
Mm.
Nigga Samo, he took Samo.
Mm.
He brought Samo into 2023.
Mm. And in this kind of now
with
frequency.
our story, bro. He's telling our story. Like the stuff we wear and we invest in is because it's our people. Like this, we living in the tent, but we got a house that's right here. Like the house is just necessary if we need to do things like brush our teeth or wash our ass or charge something. Like I know what I'm sharing with you is high level information, and not just with you. I'm sharing it with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I told you, like, our level of sharing it now is restricted. That's why we about to make the schedule, and so who get access to it.
Mm.
That's why we do these readings. It's about to be a new moon. I'm really tuned into the sun, moon, and stars, but like I'm nonchalant. Like I play with the shit, and I've been playing with it, and I allow my made men or women that came around our frequency, I allow them to play however they want. Now we calling that shit home. Like I watch Game of Thrones for a reason, nigga. Alright, so Game of Thrones, just the spoiler, a daughter was born, and then a son heir was born after. Traditions say the son should be. Nigga, no, I've been a daughter and experienced it as a queen and a princess. 4, I named my daughter. But before I die, I named my son. Squad automatically go and put in precautions to go find the son. The son don't even want the job because he ain't had a job for 20 years. So they find the son, they put him in there, and like the queen, she's on another area, a major point on the map. Assets and resources. She's been exiled, but she connected with the brown people. Like Targaryen blood, nigga, indigenous.
Mm.
Like we follow traditions to the T, no matter if it goes against the grain of the masses. So that like she go in, and her last, she a mother, she births nations, but they had to rally up around her, see who's fucking with them and who's not, because it's at that point they got to take out everybody in the bloodline because they're a threat to our kingdom, our society. Like America, we're a threat to America. That's why I took on the moniker of calling myself a terrorism. I terrorize this stupid ass country that terrorized my ancestors for years. But I do it very gently. I ain't blowing people up. I ain't no, nigga. Like I'm an internet thug. I'm an internet spiritual thug that spiritually move our wand however we want. So the transition that's happening with the world, we're calling our people. So like the real king is here, and it's like it's bestowing the, like without the bee, right? The queen bee, the bees just go wherever.
Mm-hmm.
That's why having a queen. A lot of people like our relationship because they see you as a queen, and I'm like, I'm the queen, but we both were queens. So, but in that, right? Like it's funny because it's true.
At its highest level.
At its high, like my brother tried to beseech me and take my throne, bro. Like all my cousins, everyone, royalty set it up like that. This is the hierarchy system based off of the Romans. If you don't have your Lumerian, Sumerian, Kemetic understanding, you'll get further away from nature. The more Roman you get, the further away from nature.
Mm.
The more capitalist, further away from nature.
Which is interesting because as we build, right? Like coming back to the AI, they created the mechanism for us to be able to harmonically converge and really push the limit of what our expression of nature is.
At the highest level.
Like when it comes to technology and even thinking about nothing is disposable. Disposability is an illusion because everything comes from the earth. Plastic is made from rubber, which comes from a tree. So when we throw away plastic, we're just putting pieces of trees back into the ground, even though it doesn't mesh the same way like it was supposed to. There's mushrooms that eat that shit, so we know there's solutions. It's just a matter of remembering that there's no such thing as disposability. Because if you can dispose of an item, you can create a sense of separation, and you can apply that to life forms, period.
Yeah, and that's what capitalism did. It applied it. And that's why, like, I don't mind terrorizing this country as it falls apart, man. Nah, man, I'm gerrymandering. My elders been telling me to collect assets and resources. I don't know about y'all's. I got elders. You see, I got spiritual elders that I cut off and that I smacked their hand, and then some of them smacked my hand.
The ones that could.
The ones that could. The ones that should. Like right now, we're in the time. That's why I gave it to Aunt Philly because she introduced me to Dr. Miles Monroe. His frequency was coming along, but she stamped it. Dr. Miles Monroe was talking about kingdom. I was just talking to you all about kingdom,
right.
Knowing the kingdom within. And kingdom, you break it down, right? Dominion, king's dominion. So that's where we went when we met my daughter.
I remember.
So it's like I'm just in a place where I'm watching those that have dominion over themselves and how they play. Like I told you, Clarence Avant, Bumpy Johnson, Malcolm X, Nina Simone. You're gonna get it once you watch the Soul Festival documentary. When we travel, like that's why even watching it in here is different than watching it in there.
Yeah, because
all of this, like that's why you said reality is gonna be different. I program AI. This is what I'm telling you. I am a programmer of the ether of consciousness for the next set of Oshos.
Yeah.
The leader of leaders. That's why, like, we're not just letting everybody play anymore. It's like, ding dong.
It's go time.
Like, look at that. Even the frequency. Like, it froze. It froze a while ago. Well, actually, it just froze.